And this is Karen.
Oh, hey everybody. I'm Shane.
Today we're looking at part 2 of Sleeping Made Easy.
The history of pillows.
And the vocabulary words are stuff.
Stuff.
My dad stuffed the old toys into a trash bag.
Kneel.
Kneel.
Jacob kneeled on the floor and started to pray.
Holy.
Holy.
Noah is religious and wants to visit several holy places next year.
Pregnant.
Pregnant.
Melissa was extremely happy when she found out she was pregnant.
Revolution.
Revolution.
The first computer revolution happened in the 1960s. So we're still talking about the history of pillows. What did they do in ancient China?
Well, ancient China, they still used hard materials for pillows, right? Like jade.
Bamboo.
Bamboo, but that doesn't sound very comfortable. What was the function of these things? Something about geishas?
That's for in Japan, right?
Oh, in Japan.
That's right. In Japan, the geisha, they used the small hard pillows.
So,
because they didn't want to mess up their beautiful hair. So that function was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not really for comfortable sleeping. It's more practical, right?
You are right.
So it wasn't really until like the 9th century the ancient Greeks and Romans started using softer materials.
Like feather or straw. That's right.
Right. But there was a time when they then again stopped using pillows in the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages.
The Middle Ages.
Right? When they thought that was a sign of weakness.
I know, that's so silly. Like only pregnant women and kings used pillows.
A man doesn't need a pillow. Yes, I do. Okay?
So after, I think, the Industrial Revolution, and that's when they had access to, buying cheaper pillows.
Yeah, you can manufacture them quite cheaply, and almost anybody could afford them.
Exactly.
And we still use them and love them and depend on them.
Every single night.
Yes. Pillow. A good pillow, seriously, is so important.
Exactly.
I really miss my pillow right now.
Me too.
Honestly, I'm thinking about it. Oh.
Okay, well, let's go find our pillows.
You say goodbye to them.
Goodbye, everybody. Sleep tight.
Sleeping Made Easy. The history of pillows.
In ancient China, pillows were made of hard materials like jade, bamboo, and ceramics. They were decorated with elaborate paintings of animals, humans, and plants. Centuries later, in Japan, geishas used small hard pillows to raise their heads off the ground and keep their beautifully designed hair looking perfect. Softer pillows didn't become more common until the 9th century. The ancient Greeks and Romans stuffed pillows with reeds, feathers, and straw in order to make them more comfortable. Later on, people used pillows in churches to kneel on while praying or to place holy books upon.
Today's lesson is called Sleeping Made Easy, the History of Pillows. Part 2. Hello everyone. My name is Jeff.
And my name is Mike. But what we're learning in the history of pillows is that sleeping hasn't been easy or wasn't easy for a long time because people were using stone for pillows.
Pillows were terrible for thousands of years, Mike.
7,000 years ago.
Just come out and say it.
The Egyptians were using wooden pillows, especially dead Egyptians, thousands of years ago. Maybe not 7,000, but still 3, 4, 5,000 years ago. Now, let's just sort of agree that maybe in that part of the world, around Egypt and Mesopotamia, people just weren't thinking right. Let's go somewhere else, another ancient civilization, and find out how they did the whole pillow thing, and hopefully they had something more comfortable going on.
Sadly, even in ancient China, people were still really bad at making comfortable pillows. Now they made very beautiful pillows, but were they comfortable? No.
Well, what's the point then?
In ancient China, pillows were made of hard materials like jade, bamboo, and ceramics.
Huh?
Yeah, sleep on a pot. Why not?
What?
They were decorated, though, with elaborate paintings of animals, humans, and plants, so they were pretty.
So while you're lying there with terrible neck pain in the middle of the night, you can look at your beautiful jade pillow with carvings of dragons on it.
Yes.
I'd rather have a bag with something soft inside. But that's just me. Anyway, so the ancient Chinese, they didn't have the good pillows either. Centuries later in Japan, please Japan, help us out here. Centuries later in Japan, geishas used small, hard pillows to raise their heads off the ground and keep their beautifully designed hair looking perfect. Okay, now
no comfort,
not
but we get
comfort,
functionality.
But I understand why, because geishas, like in Kyoto, they have those very complicated haircuts. Yeah, a soft pillow would ruin it, but what's the point in having a beautiful haircut when your neck is killing you?
Anyways, necks were killing people for thousands of years until finally softer pillows came along. Yes, softer pillows didn't become more common until the 9th century. Okay, so for about 1,000 years, people have been sleeping on soft pillows. The history of the pillow, remember, that goes back almost 9,000 years.
Because people have had heads and necks for a really long time. So who was it? Who finally came up with a soft pillow? The ancient Greeks and Romans. Yay! Stuffed pillows with reeds, feathers, and straw in order to make them more comfortable. Well, there you go. Now that's an idea.
That's a great idea.
It's kind of what we do now because it's comfortable.
Take a sack and you stuff stuff in there. By the way, if you stuff something with something, okay, usually you take a bag and you fill that thing, okay? You fill that thing until it's almost overflowing, okay? By the way, you wouldn't stuff a balloon. Usually you're taking solid matter and you're filling a bag with it. Like with a pillow, it's stuffed with feathers. For example, my dad stuffed the old toys into a trash bag.
So the Romans and the Greeks finally came up with an idea of a comfortable pillow. And then later on, it says, after that, hundreds of years later, people used pillows in churches to kneel on while praying or to place holy books upon. Interesting. So they knew they were comfortable, maybe not always at night, but in the church, you would go to church and then you would get down on your knees, you would kneel, and if you were praying for hours and hours, as people sometimes did, they would want to have a pillow or something soft under their knees while they kneel. And notice that the verb kneel has knee, that body part, K-N-E-E, right in there, because when you kneel, you go down on your knees. Yes. All right, a romantic young man might go down on one knee to ask a woman to marry him or something like that. Or you could kneel down if you're praying or if you're just getting something down off of a low shelf. You're lowering your body and resting your weight on your knees. You are kneeling. For example, Jacob kneeled on the floor and started to pray, hopefully on a pillow.
Hopefully on a pillow or something somewhat soft. Okay, before we take a break, we also have the adjective holy to talk about. Are you religious? Well then, you probably go to church, okay? And stuff in church, usually stuff in there is pretty holy or sacred. So yes, if you are religious, okay, you believe in God, things associated with God, things at church and stuff like that, you can call them holy. For example, Noah is religious and wants to visit several holy places next year. Maybe he's Catholic and he's going to visit the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel and places like that. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在第一天的课文读到，最早在美索不达米亚地区，人们是睡石头做的枕头，来避免这个虫子爬到脸上。那么在古埃及，人们则是让过世的人睡木枕，让亡者能够舒适的长眠。那么至于在中国古代，人们也是用硬的材料，像是玉石啊、竹子啊，或是陶瓷来做枕头，听起来真的都很不舒服诶。那么几个世纪之后，在日本 艺伎会用小硬枕头，让他们头抬离地面，以便能够让那些设计精美的头发维持完美。所以他们重点也不是在于舒适，而是在功能性。那直到9世纪，柔软的枕头才变得比较普及。好，刚刚 Jeff 老师用到 functionality 这个字，就是在 function 功能的后面加上 ality functionality 可以表达机能或是功能性。这边还有2个重点，第一个是句型 keep 加受词加受词补语是表达使什么保持或是维持某种状态。那么受词补语可以用形容词、现在分词、过去分词或是介系词片语。我们来造3个例句。Please keep the door locked. 请让那扇门保持上锁的状态。这时候我们的这个受词补语是用 locked 过去分词。Keep your eyes on the road while driving. 开车时要留意路况。那么这时候我们的补语是用 on the road， 也就是一个介系词片语。再来看 This jacket will help keep you warm. 这件外套会帮你保暖。这时候我们的补语是用 warm 这个形容词。好，第2个重点是 not 什么什么 until 的用法。Until 它可以当连接词或介系词，那么可以用来搭配否定主要子句去表达说直到什么什么才开始怎么样怎么样。我们来看它的句型是主词加上 not 加动词 until 加上名词或子句。我们来造2个例句。They didn't leave until noon. 直到中午12点他们才离开。那这时候 until noon 当中的 until 是当介系词。They didn't leave until the rain stopped. 直到雨停他们才离开。那这时候这个 until 就是当连接词后面接子句。好，课文接着写到说，古希腊人和罗马人将枕头塞满了芦苇、羽毛和稻草，来让这个枕头更加舒适。那么后来人们也在教堂里面使用枕头，就是让他们在祈祷的时候可以跪在上面，或是在枕头上面放神圣的经典。这边有3个单字。Stuff 是当动词来表达装满、填满或是把什么什么塞入。Jeff 老师在解释单字时，他用到 overflow overflow 可以用来表达满的溢出来的意思。下一个单字 kneel 是在膝盖这个字 knee 后面加上 l 就变这个动词咯，它表示跪着。还有 holy 是形容神圣的，我们其实也可以用 sacred 来形容神圣的，这个字是拼作 sacred sacred。解华课文中
Sleeping Made Easy, the history of pillows.
Starting in the Middle Ages, Europeans almost stopped using pillows altogether. It was believed that using pillows was a sign of weakness. During this period, only pregnant women and the king rested on pillows. Eventually, the Industrial Revolution occurred, and things changed completely. Improved technology allowed for pillows to be mass-produced, and what was once an item only for the wealthy was now available to everyone.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Europe. Now, in ancient Greece and ancient Rome, they started getting things together, nice soft pillows. But starting in the Middle Ages, Europeans almost stopped using pillows altogether. Why? The motivation isn't a good one. Basically, if you were using a pillow, people would think that you weren't tough.
That's right. It was believed that using pillows was a sign of weakness. You were weak, you were a girly man, or something like that. I don't know. Why doesn't know, but you know, in the Middle Ages, they got rid of a lot of the good ideas the Romans or Greeks had, like, you know, taking a bath as well. That was way out. No one did that anymore, and pillows, apparently, they were way out too. But you could use a pillow, but only in certain very special situations. It says, during this period, the Middle Ages, medieval times, during this period, only pregnant women and the king rested on pillows.
So that, wait. the king using a pillow wasn't a sign of weakness.
Right. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. But at least pregnant women got to have it, you know.
That does make sense. Give them as many pillows as they need.
Absolutely. Now, a pregnant woman, pregnant basically means you are going to have a child. The baby is growing inside, and eventually, after some time, you are going to have a child. We could also use this with animals, but of course, we're here talking about people, pregnant women, someone with child expecting to deliver a baby in the near future. For example, Melissa was extremely happy when she found out she was pregnant because that means she could use a pillow.
In the Middle Ages.
Even now, she can still use a pillow. But we can all use
pillows
yes.
now. Anyways,
pregnant kings.
Even
no,
queens.
No. Yeah, queens, yeah.
Eventually, the Industrial Revolution occurred, and things changed completely.
150, 200 years ago.
Yeah, it took a long time. But finally, there was a big, total change in things, and yes, things changed completely. Yes, notice, I just used this word revolution, and I said that that's a big, total change. Well, yes, during a revolution, that's what happens. Things change completely. Now, you can have something like the Industrial Revolution where people start using factories and stuff like that. Often, though, when we're talking about revolutions, we're talking about governments, the complete overthrow in a government, okay? A government is totally removed and a new one is put in its place, so on and so forth. Anyways, here, though, a revolution is just a big total change. For example, the first computer revolution happened in the 1960s.
Yeah, computers came in, old-style machines went out. It was a big change through all of society. All right, so finally, in the Industrial Revolution, 200 or so years ago, pillows became much more common, partly because of those factories that you were talking about. Improved technology allowed for pillows to be mass-produced. You could make large numbers of them. And what was once an item only for the wealthy was now available to everyone. That was one of the big effects of the Industrial Revolution. Things that you used to make by hand could now be made in a factory, so they were a lot cheaper, so everyone could buy one. Pillows included.
Pillows included.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Necks around the world went, hooray, I don't hurt anymore.
Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break. But don't go away. We'll wrap things up after this.
到了中世纪，欧洲人几乎完全不再使用枕头。当时人们普遍认为使用枕头是软弱的象征。好，那在这个时期里面呢，只有孕妇和国王会躺在枕头上。所以国王躺就没有问题，国王躺不是软弱的象征，这逻辑还蛮怪的。我们来看单字 pregnant，pregnant 它是形容怀孕的。那么文中用到 Middle Ages 来表达中世纪。麦克老师刚刚则是用到 medieval 这个字，它可以用来形容是中世纪的。我们来拼一下 medieval medieval。好，那我们从9000年前看到中世纪，你就发现几千年来人们都没有想要睡在舒适的枕头上。好，最后呢，直到工业革命的时期，情况就彻底改变了。因为有了改良的技术，可以大量生产枕头，于是人人都有枕头可以用，不用再睡石头、睡木头、睡一些奇怪的东西了。好，我们来看单字 revolution。Revolution 它表示革命或是革命运动，我们可以用 Industrial Revolution 来指工业革命。那么革命也许是要推翻政府，这时候 Jeff 老师在解释单字时用到 overthrow 这个字就表示推翻，那它是拼作 overthrow overthrow。介华课文中
Sleeping Made Easy, the history of pillows.
From the pages of history to your bedroom, pillows have given humans something to lay their heads on for thousands of years. That's something to think about as you drift off to sleep tonight. Sleep tight.
Okay, folks, let's start wrapping things up. From the pages of history to your bedroom, pillows have given humans something to lay their heads on for thousands of years. Although, for most of that time, those pillows were rocks and pieces of wood. Pillows weren't great until very recently.
That's right, absolutely. It's another wonderful thing about living in the modern world. So there you go, the history of pillows. It was painful for a really long time, and then it got a lot better. That's something to think about as you drift off to sleep tonight. Sleep tight. And before you go to sleep, maybe give your nice soft pillow a little hug and thank it for being what it is and not what it was.
And then maybe you can ask it a question, the what do you think question.
You could try.
Pillow, what kind of pillow do you like to use?
I like soft pillows because soft pillows are better than hard pillows. Is that a good answer? I don't know what else to say about that.
That's a pretty good pillow. That's a pretty good pillow answer. Okay, but yes, I actually like to use a soft pillow, okay?
Yeah.
Because hard pillows, like curved pieces of stone or wood, they're not comfortable at all, and they kind of get in the way of the whole sleeping thing. So I go for the whole
And you don't have to worry about insects getting into your face. So you're lucky.
That too.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're very lucky. Yeah.
All right, folks, our lesson is now in the books. It's complete, and it's time for us to say bye-bye.
Sleep tight.
看了这2天的课文，同学们有没有很庆幸自己是生活在现代，有很舒适的枕头陪你入眠呢？课文最后就建议我们说，今晚逐渐进入梦乡时，也许可以想想看这个枕头漫长又有趣的历史，但不要想得太深入，不然你可能会睡不着哦。那不管怎么样，祝你好眠咯。文中用到片语动词 drift off， 它表示逐渐睡去，常常写作 drift off to sleep 来表达逐渐进入梦乡。那么 sleep tight 则是用来表达睡个好觉。好啦，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Don't make too much noise. I don't want the snow monkeys to hear us. My job is to study the monkeys. Snow monkeys have brown-gray fur, red faces, and short tails. During their leisure time, they groom each other to keep clean. They pick out fleas and insects from each other's fur. Snow monkeys live in northern Japan where it is very cold. They are smart and know how to have fun. They make snowballs and like to take baths together in hot springs. Although they're called snow monkeys, the same type of monkey lives in the warm parts of Japan too. At the moment, there are lots of macaques. However, some people are worried that they are in danger. It is because the forests they live in are being cut down. Macaques don't mind people too much, though. They are happy to steal my food some days.
See you next time!